Get in, nerds. We are playing Victoria 3. We successfully annexed Brazil, forming the United Kingdom of Portugal and Brazil, and we're on our way to the pink map, which includes having a bunch of this territory colonized. So I'm feeling pretty good overall about our chances here. We got a bunch of infamy, which we'll need to deal with over time. I thought we were a little lower than this, but apparently not. That's alright, though. So what do I want to do? I've noticed that Canada is a free country at this point, so I'm going to go ahead and improve relations with them. They do not have an overlord. I guess they were liberated at some point somehow. So that's pretty neat. We're getting close to having better relations with the British, not so much the French, but that's okay. Let me see here. So what do I want to... Oh, right. I'm going to be getting a hold of some territory in Brazil as core territory. We've almost got central planning, which I might actually... I think that's going to spread to us in due enough time. So, let me see. Our most populous areas are Rio de Janeiro, Minas Gerais, and Sao Paulo. Let me see. Rio Grande do Sul is an interesting target. Where else have we got good solid populations? Bahia is a good location, and Pernambuco as well. Yeah, a lot of these areas have decent migration traction. 1.18 million in Amazonas, but that's going to take 20 years. So I'm not going to do that. That's not even really going to impact the campaign. I think I'm going to start with Rio de Janeiro, Minas Gerais, and Sao Paulo. That is going to put us into a deficit. That's okay. I want to do Rio Grande do Sul at some point, but... No, you know what? It'll be fine. I'll deal with having a shortage of bureaucracy for a little bit. Let's get going. Alright, we've got forces over here in Brunei, so that should be able to sort out that situation. We've got another army on our way over to Honduras to sort that one out, and there's the end of the revolt in Brunei. So that should put all those units coming over here to Honduras to deal with that situation. I'm going to ignore this situation here in North India. I'm feeling pretty good about that overall. The United States is going after France to transfer Hawaii. Interesting. Both sides would potentially be interested in having my help. The British flu spreads. Oh, right. I was going to tell you about the British flu. The deadly British flu has appeared in Zambezia. The pandemic is quickly becoming a global crisis. It was truly like unto the rush of wounded from the field of battle, and the house was filled to capacity almost at once. Within a few days, it was necessary to open a ward in a college gymnasium, which was equipped with beds from our students' dormitories. When will this play again? Alright, let's see about the flu pandemic. A deadly flu pandemic is ravaging the globe. The government's response to this plague will determine the fate of thousands, perhaps millions of lives. Will complete if all states don't have flu pandemic. If completed, they lose flu pandemic. That's weird. So it says I should have a decision. Pandemic response. With a deadly flu ravaging the land, we must act to protect our citizens. I'm going to go ahead and hit that button. So, the government must determine its response to the flu pandemic that threatens to engulf the nation. Stricter measures will surely have a cost, but will save lives. By authority and direction of the State Board of Health, there will be no classes in the university beginning at noon today. Students are forbidden to leave the town. To do so would help spread infection. Impose a strict lockdown and close non-essential businesses, minus 50% throughput in all the affected states, much less likely to experience successive waves of the flu. Flu mortality is greatly reduced. Mandate health measures such as distancing and protective masks, minus 25%. Less likely as opposed to much less likely, or you can't risk hurting the economy. States will experience successive waves of the flu, up to 4 waves. Flu mortality will be very high. I'm going to do a strict lockdown. I lived through COVID just like the rest of y'all. I think that's the most reasonable thing to do. It's only for 6 months. It's fine. Alright. We got Punjab and Kandahar going after each other. This is... You know, you do that, Punjab. I'm going to let that be. Maybe we'll have an Afghanistan this run. Who knows? So I'm going to continue to keep an eyeball on this situation, because this is something that I'm definitely potentially going to get involved in. No one seems particularly interested in going after either side. So, relations with the USA are cordial. The USA's economy is not as big. Its army is kind of smaller. And what is France going for here? France wants to steal Liberia. That seems reasonable. So, USA, what would you offer me? You would offer me a trade agreement or a war goal. France, what would you offer me? You would offer me a trade agreement or a war goal. I think none of that speaks to me, so I'm going to go ahead and close it out. I'm going to put these 5 monitors into the Marina Real. And where is the Marina Real? It's in Indonesia right now. We'll bring it back to Portugal proper. We're going to make some changes there eventually. Is my Suez Canal Company profitable? Not yet. Oh, interesting. This is affected by shipyards. Interesting. So, how can I export... Oh my goodness. The export interface is borked. Alright, Bashkir mass immigration. Can I export clippers to anyone? Not really. What about man-o-wars? Yes, I can export man-o-wars to China and to North Germany. What about ironclads? No. What about steamers? Yes, to China and Belgium. I think I'm going to set all of those items to being... export focused. Because I want to make those businesses more profitable. Now, clippers, where are they? Clippers are very affordable. Export focus. And then steamers, also very affordable. Put them on export focus. And hopefully that'll get the Suez Canal Company profitable. We seem to be having a bit of a hard time getting our military shipyards in Extremadura. Well, these ones are producing... These should be making steel-hauled ships. For sure. I thought it was the one in Beira that were... These ones are also producing steel hulls. Alright, so that should be fine. And then any trade routes that are inactive, I'm going to close out. United States is improving relations. Oh, they don't want me to fight them. With the France thing. 2 arms. Alright, so we'll just go ahead and close out any inactive trade routes here. Don't need many of these import routes. In fact, I can try and not need any of them. I think that's my ideal. Is to not be importing anything I can make myself, which is most things, frankly. Alright, and there's the Guatemalan capitalist revolt crushed. And at the end of the week, that should reset my finances significantly. This export route of clothes is not productive. I'm going to cut it. I got others that I can focus on. This export route of coffee is not productive. This import route of sulfur is definitely not productive, so it can go. This one is super unproductive, as is this. Alright, there is wargaming. That's wonderful. So what am I importing? I'm currently importing a small amount of hardwood and a small amount of wood. I cannot import those. I'm bringing in a bunch of coal. I do need that, unfortunately. I'm bringing in a bunch of engines, which I would like to be more independent on. I'm bringing in a bunch of ironclads, which I shouldn't be. So absolutely not. We'll cut those. Again, I do have the necessary facilities to produce those myself here in my own market with absolutely no problems. Can't hire laborers. Interesting. Well, I should have the capacity to produce those myself. There are some buy orders from phones, which I should be producing in my tasty, tasty electrics industries. I'm going to go ahead and declare neutrality on this war. Finances are still not rock solid. Guyana appears to be doing much better, so I'm going to throw that consumption tax for tobacco back on there. And there's oil in Mato Grosso. Wonderful. I missed this thing happening in Pontianak. That's okay. I can go ahead and ignore it. We are connected up here. We are continuing to connect up here. I'm thinking this is going to go at a good clip. So what else do we need? We definitely need more steel mills and engines industries. We are going to go to electric railway, though, so I'm not going to build up those engines industries because I shouldn't need them. Let me take a quick look at power prices in Brazil. Let me just see where power is being produced. So, it's being produced in Rio de Janeiro, in Bahia, and in Pernambuco. And we are experiencing shortages in Minas Gerais. But not in Sao Paulo. So, alright, so I'm going to build up some power infrastructure in Minas Gerais and Sao Paulo. Those are going to go to the top of the queue for now. It's going to take a lot longer. We're having a little bit of construction efficiency shortage due to high turmoil in Minas Gerais. That is unfortunate. Is there a university here? Yes. We'll go ahead and build a couple more levels. A couple more levels in Rio de Janeiro as well. And Sao Paulo and Bahia have decent... Bahia needs a university as well. Alright. So that's going to help with the qualifications. Alright, we'll go ahead and hit that button. Again, I don't want to do central planning myself because I'm rushing for radio. And radio is of critical importance for our long-term military needs. Dahomey is having itself a little bit of a situation. Interesting. British flu spreads. The deadly British flu has appeared in Luso-Brazilian Botswana. The pandemic is quickly becoming a global crisis. I'm not going to read this dialogue again. It's going to hit Botswana next. Do I have myself a new pandemic response? Not yet. So, Dahomey, what's going on over here? Do you have any friends? You have a friendship with Benin. But other than that, no. Just Russia trying to get you into their sphere. So maybe I can help. Hey, and there's construct the Suez Canal. Chokwe uprising. Interesting. That's just fine. I got the Army of East Africa right here. I'm still thinking about getting involved. I could potentially get a protectorate, which would be fun. Did I get an event popping off? Looks like no. They don't want to become my subject. And I don't want a trade agreement. So I think I'm going to be neutral on this. This is making me nervous, because I don't want the French Empire to go after me. But I'm getting down in infamy, so that should help me. And I can go ahead and not kick off a bunch of infamy-related activities going forward, and that'll be nice. How's the market doing? Let's see. Rubber is extremely cheap, which is very good for me overall. Tea is a little expensive, interestingly. And opium too, so I can go ahead and upgrade the production methods for those buildings and not even lose any sleep over it. Oh, I can't. I don't own any of the opium plantations. Well, that'll do it. Alright, the British flu spreads to Somaliland. Gosh darn it, when will this plague end? The rogue imperialist, a patriotic explorer and partisan of the rural folk, has been surveying land in East Angola and signing treaties with local leaders on behalf of our nation. But the British Republic has already established a presence there. If the explorer's claims are recognized, the British Republic will be furious with us. This man is a maniac. We're trying to play a careful, delicate game over here. And that man has to upturn the table and cause a headache for us all. And for what? The nation? Please. Does this man not realize what damage he's doing? Accept the claim and upset the British gives us 14 infamy. Or reject the explorer and upset our jingoists. So this makes the armed forces and rural folk happier. But rejecting it makes the armed forces and rural folk unhappy and gives 1.4 infamy to the British Republic. I'm going to do the second one. I genuinely don't want to get involved. Scandinavia. Denmark is having a civil war. I will probably not get involved in that. In fact, I will commit to not being involved. This number is not making me feel great. Diplomatic pacts. I'm still getting my war operations with Bengal. I'm still at medium taxation. This is looking a little rough. Part of it's in interest as well, so I think, but part of it is also in construction, which I could stop doing as soon as I get these things done, and that would help me. Government's really righteous. Let's go ahead and increase taxes. That's still going to leave me in the righteous government. 74.3k loyalists a month is still rock solid. I don't need to get involved in Mulan for bond. That's someone else's business. There's central planning. Alright, so, quickly, let's go ahead and grab Extremadura. The British flu spreads again, this time to Amazonas. When will this plague end? And I'm going to switch over to telephone switchboards. That's going to cost a bunch of telephones, but I got the ability to produce a bunch of telephones. So that's going to give me a bunch more bureaucracy. And probably more over the coming months. It's going to create a telephone shortage, but that's going to go up. Oh, it's gone back down. Probably because the electrics industries are still trying to hire. Let me see here. Yeah, okay, they're hiring. So that should be increasing back up again soon. And there's the radio. Alright, so we'll swap over to Mexican radio production. That's caused me a shortage of power in Extremadura, which I don't love. Let's go ahead and throw some more power in here. And we'll put that mostly at the top of the queue. But I want to get the other electrics industries built first. Oh boy. Catholic Church petition government. Well, I don't like that. Representing his constituents in the Catholic Church, Andre Rangal has issued a formal petition to the Luso-Brazilian government to pass wage subsidies. One last matter for the day, sir. Members of your constituency arrived this morning. They're asking rather loudly and insistently if you would meet with them about new legislation. Huh, is that it? Goodness, you seem as if you've seen a ghost. I'm sure we can spare the last hours of the light for them, can't I? I believe so, sir. They were not taking no for an answer. I'm going to say we'll see what we can do. Wage subsidies is not a problem. It is going to weaken our that's going to strengthen our trade unions, but that's not a problem. Industrialists will be mad, but not too mad. Let's go ahead and do it. Firebreak. Alright, so that is the end of the Red Scare. Whether the trust of... Oh, not the Red Scare. The spectre haunting Europe. The spectre haunting the world, perhaps? I'm not sure. Anyway, it's over now. Whether through the trust of our people or the truncheons of our soldiers, the United Kingdom has emerged unbroken from the wave of socialist agitation that threatened it. This still saw the pamphlets. Sometimes, decayed paper corpses trapped in the gutters, caked in soot and mud. Bold red and black ink abraded by rough stones and rougher footsteps. The police had not bothered to pick them up, viewing them as an affront to their gloves, or perhaps realizing that their fallen remnants made more of a statement than their complete disappearance. A triumph for all the United Kingdom, 5 legitimacy, 15% extra loyalists from standard of living increases, Minus 10% political strength of laborers, and 2% of upper and middle stratum pops become more loyalist, or things will never be the same again. More loyalists in the upper and middle strata, less loyalists from standard of living increases. Increased support for secret police and militarized police, but no legitimacy bonus. I'm going to go with the second one because I'm currently irritating my upper strata. So hopefully that'll be fine. That was a good chunk. Although I've got a lot of radicals right now. Alright, we are fighting Chokwe, but that should be fine. I'm not worried about that. The situation in Furatoro is nobody's business. But the Russians and French Senegalese, so we'll go ahead and close that out as well. And there's the end of that fight, which I'm feeling pretty optimal about. British flu spreads to South Angola. Ugh, this is not great. This is not great, friends. Alright, pandemic response. So, let me see. Because I think we... Let me take a look at some of the affected areas here. Okay, economic shutdown. Alright, so that lasts another 12 weeks. Now, do newly affected areas have that? Yes, they do. Alright, so we're just not going to change it. What is this from? Not sure. Anyway. So hopefully that has made... hasn't made our industrialists too happy, but it should make them at least a little happy. They are trying to preserve the poor laws, so where are we? We're at 47% success chance, 17% stall chance. I think that's rock solid. So why are the electrics industries not producing the amount of telephones that we need? Are they over capacity? Are they needing to pull employees from places that won't... Yeah, wow. Okay, here we go, here we go, here we go. Right, and it's the power. Alright, so that'll be fine. That'll be fine, we'll deal with that. Wow, there's a huge amount of power by orders here. I had no idea we were so short on power. Alright, let's try to be a little bit more aggressive about this. And we'll put the... everything that's not a power plant below that. Alright. British flu spreads. Togo. Uh-oh. It's moving north. It's moving north. Oh, I'm not happy. Oh, Togo is here. No, Togo is here. Hey, we got a success on our first pass-through. That's nice. But we've got the economic shutdown going. Now, are the initial areas... It's going to be 4 weeks until the initial areas are free of the flu. So we'll see how things go. Still spreading. East Angola. Oh, not happy with that. Situation going on in Tagort. Can't be bothered. Not my business. The masses want numerous things. It's not the greatest, I must say. Workplace safety is at level 5. Excellent. So that'll get increased, That'll get us reduced mortality, which is very good, because our population is high and getting higher. As 'twere. Alright, so we have gotten a significant increase in bureaucracy now. Let's go ahead and incorporate... Which was the area... I think it was Sao Paulo. No, Sao Paulo we're already incorporating. Was it Bahia? Yes. Rio Grande do Sul I did hit the button for. Now, if I recall correctly, Pernambuco and... Right, Pernambuco I was also going to incorporate. Now what about Para? No, low population area. Alright, so I think that's all the areas I'd intended to incorporate. I've commenced incorporation of. It's going to improve my finances significantly eventually. Revolutionary Sweden, don't love that, but what can I do? Now it's in Goiás. Oh, it's across the Atlantic. Oh, this is not great. This is not great, friends. Oh, I'm really hoping it doesn't get to the core. It's gonna be a problem. Well, this area is gonna be core too soon, but for now, we're just gonna have to let it be, friends. We're just going to have to let it be. So all these power plants should be making a big difference in the economic productivity of these territories. Child of the workhouse. A child who grew up in a workhouse institution spoke before Parliament today, detailing the conditions there and urging the abolition of poor laws. Many of the listeners would, I'm sure, hesitate to bring your child to visit such a place, yet children are nevertheless there every day, although they learn quickly to be less like children, to be less like part of a family, and more like part of a machine. Family being, like food, merely another luxury that no amount of work seems to make an inmate deserving of in these places. More of these children must be heard, 20% enactment chance. Armed forces and trade unions become angry or outraged over the treatment of workhouse children. Can I deal with that if they are? Don't love it. Wouldn't like to be. Or this makes the point well enough, 10% enactment chance instead. I'm going to go with the 10%. I do not want angry interest groups right now. Oh, this is rough. But it should be passing in at least some of my territories. Yeah, here we go. So in Somaliland it's passed. In Zanzibar it's passed. Mozambique is good to go. Zambezia is good to go. Lorenzo Marques is good. Transvaal's good. I don't think it ever hit South Africa particularly hard. It's still in South Angola, East Angola, North Angola, and Ba-Congo. North Angola appears to have an infrastructure problem, so we need to build up a railway here. Gonna throw that at the top of the queue. And then Bengal is going after Bahawalpur, which I'm not going to get involved in, because I don't need to be. Flu spreads, alright, so this is, it's going, it's in Galicia. Alright, so that's really unfortunate. That's going to be working our economy real bad. Fascist revolt in Honduras popping off. Let's go ahead and mobilize the Army of East Africa to deal with it. Alright, so this is going to wreck our economy real bad. And when the government's in pretty deep in debt, too. Ugh, that's rough. Well, I guess everything's at minus 50% throughput, and that's okay. So, if we embargo Bengal, relations are already terrible, so let me see. Yeah, let's go ahead and do it. The anti-Bengali elites being happier will be good for me. And they are extremely happy, so that's alright. That's just fine. Army's on the way. Not super concerned about that. Where are we with tech? We're working on electric railways. Then we're going to go to military. I think in military, once you've got sea lane strategies, we'll replace all of our monitors with scout cruisers. I think after that, we'll flip over to dreadnought, because we've already got ironclads, and dreadnoughts are going to be better. And then what do we do next? Ooh, we're in voting already. That's excellent. I think after that we grab landing craft. And then we knock out Destroyer if Destroyer's knocked out already. War propaganda, I think, is spreading to us, but we'll see if it isn't. And then we'll grab NCO training finally, and that'll be really good. Defense in depth will be really important for our ground forces. It's going to unlock another level of artillery, and that's going to be really useful. That is what it is. Anyway, it is the middle of 1920, so this is going to be the end of this episode. We got a pandemic happening. It's not great, but we're dealing with it pretty effectively as we can. My nerds have had fun. I hope you all have had fun, and I'll see you on the other side.